Kellerman, Verona, Wisconsin, 2015.
Stay with it. Good. Up to it. Push-ups, Brett.
Kind of give us a rundown of how your AAU season went this past spring and summer with 16U, Wisconsin Academy, Robinson.
It was definitely difficult having 12 guys. Some tournaments you didn't get the playing time that you wanted, but after a couple tournaments, you kind of got used to it. Started to become a team, and we started playing pretty well towards the end of the year with Vegas ending on a pretty good note. I think all in all, it was a pretty good season for most of us.
Yeah, watching you guys play, I mean, it seems like you have a really deep roster, depth-wise. You know, from top to bottom. Coach rotated you out, pretty often. How was kind of adjusting to that as a player?
It was hard because you're used to on your varsity team. You're used to playing almost the entire game, and this you got to kind of sacrifice for the other 12 guys that are on it. So it was difficult at first. I definitely had to have a couple talks with some people, but after a while, you just kind of got used to it, and you just had to do you while you were out there and try to get the most of your playing time.
What are some of your strengths as a player? Anybody that's seen you play, I would think would say your three-point shot.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my strong suits. I'm working hard on the off-season, trying to get my game going to the basket more, trying to get pull-ups and defense, and I'm just trying to be a hustle player and just get those loose balls and try to be an overall solid player.
How did your season go last year for Verona, and what are you most looking forward to this season?
Last year, I think we were picked to get second to last or last. We ended up in the middle of the pack, 8 and 10. Ended on a good note. won 5 straight games, then lost to Economwalk in the first round, which was kind of tough. But it was a good year because it was a lot of it was me, Cole, and then Jake Toman got moved up to varsity, another sophomore, and it was hard playing with seniors and juniors you didn't really know, but near the end of the season we started all to become friends, and this year that's really going to show, and it's really going to affect the way we play as a team and the way that we'll try and find some games to win, some of those close games that we need to win.
Yeah, and talk about some of that competition in the Big 8 Conference this year. A lot of stacked teams top to bottom.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game almost every game. I love going to away games in Big 8. There's always seems to be some sort of loud noise that you had to go through and try to play through. But yeah, it's definitely a fun conference to play in. And then playing some of your D2 friends that are on Academy 2 is always pretty fun. Our non-conference games will be pretty close. They're pretty good games. But yeah, conference should be fun this year. Hopefully we do pretty well.
What is the difference between high school and AAU basketball for you, and which do you prefer?
That's a good question. I probably prefer high school more because you really get a bond with the kids that are on your team. You really start to become close with some of those kids and find some friendships and play good basketball. In AAU, it's more kind of show yourself and try to get your name out there. But for this team, we definitely have guys who aren't selfish, who know how to pass the ball, know how to move the rock, and play solid defense. So it's almost even, but I probably would have to go with our varsity team.
What really made your Wisconsin Academy AAU team click?
Like I said, I think the willingness to play defense, the willingness to pass the ball, to move it, to share the rock, and try to get everyone else their shine. I think that was the main point.
How would you rate your game defensively?
It's definitely improving. A couple years ago, it was probably almost a 0. It was really bad, but it's definitely improving, and I'm trying to become the best defender on my team and guard the best player on the other team.
Can you kind of talk about your work ethic a little bit? I'm sure a lot of hard work must go into being as good as of a player as you are. For our school, we actually have a lifting program during the day, which is nice so that you can get a little workout in every single day, 5 days a week. And then after school, I have 7th hour off, so I go out to our local gym and get some shots up, start lifting a little bit, and then 5 to 7 on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and Sundays, I go to PDP in Verona, which really helps develop my game. And yeah, that's basically my daily routine. What's the best individual performance or game that you've ever played?
Either Team Thad when we played them in this year in NY2LA, the Under Armour tournament, or the one in Vegas where I had 37 points against a team from Texas. Those were both really fun games to be a part of.
Who's your favorite NBA player or a basketball player that you like to model your game after?
I just love watching Kobe, just seeing how hard he works and how many people hate him and want to show I wouldn't say it, like he's just one of those guys who not everyone likes him. He's kind of seems selfish or whatever, but people try to find a way to diss him, and I kind of like that he fights that off and shows how good he is every single game.
A piece of basketball advice, maybe some words of wisdom that you've really taken to heart over the years, or a piece of advice that you give to other players.
I think really the point that changed me as a basketball player, my dad, after one tournament, it was a pretty bad tournament, he said that I was one of the worst players out there, and I took that to heart. Not just because my dad obviously loves me, but I took that to heart because I probably was one of the worst guys, and I was thinking that I was one of the better guys out there. And so when the reality check comes and you come back into the world, it's interesting. So after that point, really, I started developing my game and trying to be the best player I could possibly be.
Can you name a favorite coach or two that's helped you over the years become the player that you are today?
I'd definitely say my dad. He was my youth coach from 4th grade to 8th grade. He basically made my shot. He basically made me who I am today. So he's definitely still my coach now, giving me some pointers here and there. But yeah, from the start, it's from my father.
Who have been some of your favorite teammates that you've enjoyed playing with over the years? Could be high school or AAU.
To be honest, I really like playing with Daryl, the way he plays hard almost every game, the way he passes so that I can actually get some shots up sometimes. And I really like playing with some of the guys on my team. Cole, I love playing with, and Jake Toman. He's an unknown, but he'll be known this year. I think he's a 6'6" big man who likes to play in the post and finishes well. I really like playing with him. He's a solid player.
How do you think you did today here at this open gym setting in drills? And
I think I did pretty well. The scrimmage was a little sloppy to start when we got killed the first game, but after that we started to play a little more solid, and I started knocking down some shots.
A lot of guys like Will Kellerman with his flashy shot. You know, he long distance shooter. I think he's developed his attacking the basket this year. Look for him to continue to do that at the high school level at Verona High School. You know, his ball handling has gotten better. His defense has gotten a lot better. Again, just overall confidence as a player has gotten better.